Welcome! I am Tamara, and today we are going to be sewing this very easy casserole carrying dish. Now this particular one will hold a 8" by 8" or 9" by 9", essentially a square casserole dish. Now if you're interested in the longer casserole dishes, I am going to come out with that tutorial soon, and we'll have it linked in the description down below for you when it does come out. But for this particular tutorial, it is an insulated casserole carrying dish. However, you don't have to insulate it. If you want, you could just use a layer of batting and that would work just as well. So let's jump on into this sewing tutorial. You will need 2 layers of Insul fleece cut at 13 inches by 34 inches. Then you will need 4 layers of cotton fabric, 2 layers of one fabric, 2 layers of the other, so that the inside of my project will look different than the outside of my project. And all 4 of those fabrics will also be cut at 13 inches by 34 inches. You will also need 2 yards of webbing, along with 28 inches of velcro. And when you buy your velcro, make sure it does not have the sticky backing. If you end up buying the sticky backing, your sewing needle will start to get stuck in the velcro. We will be making 2 panels exactly the same. So start with 1 layer of your Pelon Insul fleece face up. Then whatever fabric you want to be the inside of your casserole dish, lay it right side up on top of your Insul fleece. And then the fabric that you want on the outside of your project, you will lay right side down on top of that other layer of cotton fabric. So you'll have 3 layers here. And then what you'll do is you will pin around all 4 sides. I like to use Wonder Clips for this. And then I will mark with actual pins an opening between 6 to 8 inches wide to be able to turn the project right side out. And the reason why I use different pins, of course, is to remind me while I'm sewing that that is where I need to start and stop. Once everything is pinned, then you will sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance around the outer edge, starting and stopping with a back stitch and leaving that section open so that you can turn your project right side out. Do this 2 times. And then before you turn your project right side out, we'll trim away all 4 corners, getting rid of all of that extra bulk, making sure, of course, not to snip into that sewn seam. Now, one more step you need to do before you turn your project right side out is just to press that opening. Fold the pieces of fabric back a 1/2 inch and give it a press, but you need to make sure, because you are working with the Pelon Insul fleece, to have your iron set to low, because if you have it set to a high heat, you will start melting your project and then it will start to wrinkle up, and you do not want that. So a low heat, and then just press that opening edge down. That way, when you turn it right side out, it'll just be easier to line up those edges properly and then pin them across. And now you will turn your project right side out. Now I am showing you 1 panel, but you are doing this 2 times so that you will end up with 2 panels. So I'm just going to reach on in, pull it right side out, and then I'm going to take what I use as a chopstick, but you can use even a pencil or whatever you have that has a bit of a pointy end, to gently poke out those points. And if you go too hard, you're going to push too hard, you're actually going to push that chopstick right on through the end. And I did do that with one of my points, which maybe I'll show you here. I was very annoyed with myself, but that's what happens when you work fast and you are pushing a little too hard. So just be gentle on those points. Then take your panel back to your iron, remembering to keep your iron on that low heat setting, and just press around the entire outer edge. I like to add some clips around that outer edge just to allow my fabric to cool a bit flatter. And then, of course, throw some clips along that open edge before bringing it back to your sewing machine. And this time you will sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the entire outer edge. Don't start on a corner, because then your needle will most likely start to get stuck in that corner. So make sure you start sewing on a side edge. And of course, start and stop with a back stitch. All right, and now we've got 2 panels exactly the same. So grab one of your panels and we will add our handles. To prepare your webbing to become a handle, we need to attach the ends. So for myself, one end actually has already been melted from the manufacturer, but if yours isn't, then fold one end over before lining it up on top of the other end. And I just overlapped it about a 1/2 inch. Then you're going to take it to a sewing machine and just sew a square around that overlapped edge, creating a loop. Now, the thing you need to make sure to do is to not end up twisting that webbing. Then grab one of your panels and find the center of your fabric. So the way that I find the center of my panel is just by folding it in half, and I'll just take a little pen and I'll mark that edge. Now, once you know where the center of your panel is, then lay your ruler 2.5 inches in from that outer edge. Then you can draw a line across. Make sure that line is 6 inches out from the center. So it'll be a 12-inch line, 6 inches to the left and 6 inches to the right. You'll do that on both long edges of your panel. Then take your webbing and fold it in half. That way you know where the center is of your loop, and just finger press it so that you know exactly where that half line is. Then you will lay your loop along both of those 2.5-inch marks that you made on either side of your panel. So I'm going to line this up here so that the center is along the center of my panel, and then I'll line it up along the other edge. Now make sure that your webbing loop is not twisted, and then pin it in place. Make a mark on your webbing 6 inches out from the center on all 4 sides of that center. So you've got those 4 marks there. Then pin your webbing down, and now take it to your sewing machine, start and stop with a back stitch, and you will sew a rectangle from the center to that 6-inch line, across, back to the opposite 6-inch line, and back again. So it's actually a 12-inch length that you've sewn. Once your handles have nicely been attached, then just lay it flat in the center and pin it in place so that those handles stay out of the way while you add the Velcro. Now we want to mark where our Velcro will end up. So grab your ruler and line it up along that edge once again at 2.5 inches. Then draw a marked line from the outer edge in about 7 inches. Do that only on the right hand side here. So you want 2 lines on the right hand side, then you'll flip your project over so that your left side is now your right side, but you're looking at it on the inside. And you will do that once again with your ruler. So 2.5 inches in, draw about a 7-inch line there on both sides, and now you will know where to place your Velcro. All right, now let's add our Velcro. Cut 7-inch pieces. On the inside of your panel here, you want the soft side of your Velcro, and then on the outside of your panel, you will add the rough side of your Velcro. So line your Velcro along the inside of that 2.5-inch marked line and pin in place. Do that on the inside part of the panel and on the outside part of the panel. Then take it to your sewing machine and sew a rectangle around all 4 of those edges, starting and stopping with a back stitch, and that will secure your Velcro in place. So now that you've done that on the first panel, you'll do the exact same thing on your second panel. You just don't have to worry about having handles in the way. So all of the measurements and placements will be exactly the same for the Velcro on this panel as well. And now we have 2 panels that are prepped properly, and now we need to find the center to both of the panels. The way that I like to find the center is just by folding my panels in half, both on the short end and on the long end, creating a bit of a crease plus in the center. And then I'll just mark that also with my friction pen so that I know exactly where the center is. And once you've done that for both panels, now you'll know where the center is. So grab your panel that has the handles and lay it face down. Then grab your panel without the handles and line up those centers so you're creating a plus with both of your panels. Then you can pin your plus in place and then line your ruler up along the outer edge of the bottom panel, drawing a line across. That way you'll know where you can sew across those edges. Make sure that you mark this line 1/4 inch in so that it's following your seam allowance, and then pin your handles out of the way so that you don't end up sewing over them. And then take it to your sewing machine and sew a seam allowance, starting and stopping with the back stitch, following that seam allowance line to your marked line, and then going all the way around. Then it's time to remove any of your markings, either with an iron if you used a friction pen, or a wet cloth if you used a water-soluble marking pen. And that, my friends, is how you can make a very easy casserole carrying dish. Don't forget, I will have a link to the other casserole carrying dish tutorial in the description down below. And if you don't want to lose me on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.